All right, Sibs, I think you can continue.
Yes, so please let us know again your country, your name, and your profession, and then shortly we will start. I see a lot of you you're based in Rwanda. Olivier, you're an innovation hub manager. Method, you're a lab scientist. Very, very interesting careers. So how many of you guys are looking forward to this session? Is this something that you've been anticipating for a while? Okay, so now we'll begin our first session. So this is our first webinar from Career Growth Resources. And Willie, please, let's welcome him. You can take over.
All right. Thank you so much, Sibs, for the introduction, despite the technical issues that you've had. But I think it's a great time to dive right into it. So this is a webinar around how to future-proof your career in the age of AI. Basically, how do you stay relevant in the middle of change, crisis, and uncertainty? So the reason why I decided to start with this specific topic and webinar is because I see how the markets are shifting, the way things are moving from something that people think they understand to where even the people in the business AI are at a point where they say, you know what, we are actually not sure how this thing is going to end, or how this thing is the direction this thing is going to take. So I was like, okay, if we are going to build a community, and that community is based on how well people are informed and how well people are qualified to be in their jobs and how well people are competent in whatever they do, the best way to start, the best place to start is with AI. So I'm going to start with a little bit of, with my background, and then so that we can have better context and ask proper questions. But before, I want to wish a happy Easter to the Christians in our midst. I hope you are having a good one. Now, so this is my career for the past decade. So these are the organizations I've worked with. I've worked with over 5,000 entrepreneurs through various organizations, and 500 founders that I've mentored personally on a one-on-one basis. So as you can see, the organizations varies from Hive Africa all the way to ALX, Africa Management Institute, Ashoka, the Halt Prize, Global Wealth Forum, and Attila, plus Regent University. So these are the organizations I've had the opportunity to work in, wearing different hats. So I was working either as a business consultant, a product manager, a business coach. But all in all, I was so much involved in coaching and mentoring and adding value in terms of capacity building. So that has been my career. And so recently we started a community on WhatsApp, thinking that it's going to be only for founders, but someone said, oh, we can have, we can really use a community that can allow us to also find jobs. So I was like, okay, if that is something useful, let's try it out. So we tried, and now actually the Career Growth Resources is growing more than the Startup Growth Resources. So it was really, really impressive, and we're closing in at 1,000 members in less than 60 days. 30 plus nationalities, 4 continents, incredible growth and progress. And now we are looking to partner with more people so that we can even grow the community, but also add more value to the community, because I'm very value oriented and value focused. So once I'm sure that this is something that people need, there is no going back. So we just have to go ahead and do it. So this is my work in Canada, specifically where I've been. The reason why I'm sharing Canada specifically is because I'm a career coach in Canada. So I coach immigrants who have just arrived in Canada, and they're looking in different industries to see how they can break into tech jobs, professional jobs, but also how they can leverage their own expertise and experience in a foreign country. So I've had an opportunity to live in Dubai for close to 6 months. So I kind of got the feel of how it feels to be an immigrant in a new country. You're trying to find a job and you don't know how to start. But with proper guidance and proper mentorship, you manage to get something. So I do that in Canada. I've been doing that since 2023. And these are different cohorts of mentors that I've been part of. And we run multiple sessions. The age range, I would say it's more senior professionals, people who have over 7 years of experience, work experience, 10 years of work experience, 15 sometimes work experience. So I've had a huge opportunity to have my work reach global audiences, which equips me with a very rare skill to be able to perform as a mentor, to provide very unique mentorship. So these are some of the sessions we've had in the past. And I just wanted to share with you that what we are doing with the community here in Rwanda, I've been doing that for years with communities abroad. So it's not something that I'm starting to do, right now I'm learning to do. No, I've been doing that, but it's just that I did not formalize it and create like a WhatsApp group where people can come and access resources and jobs and tips and ways to grow their careers. So the agenda of today, the topics you're going to cover, we're going to see the history of civilization and get to understand what is AI, what is AI capable of, what is generative AI and how can we leverage it, what are the relevant and irrelevant skills that we need or don't need in the age of AI, and then your leverage. What is your leverage? What is your competitive advantage? Where are you going to win in all of this entire chaos that we call AI? But also we are going to have Q&A, and then we are going to close with an announcement. All right. Also, if you have a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat so that I see it, and then probably like circle back and then answer it. If it's something that I don't know, I'm going to tell you straight away that I don't know it. We can go back and do research, or I can even give, that we can open the microphone to members in the audience so that we can get to, learn from each other. Now, there is a 18th century historian called Mark Bloch. So he said, to understand the present, we must study the past, and to understand the past, we must study the present. So every time I'm about to give a presentation, or every time I'm requested to talk about a topic, talk about something that is complex and extensive in nature, my first intuition, the first thing that I think is, okay, let's go back in history and see how the state of the affairs that we're going to discuss, how they were, and how can we position ourselves better in the future, but also by understanding the present. So that's why I resonate a lot with this quote that says, for us to understand the past, we need to study the present, but also to understand the present, we need to go back and study the past. Now, so back in history, so the way the evolution, or the way the civilizations were built, basically starting from 10,000 years before Christ, we were just hunters. We were just hunters. We were just hunter-gatherers, living on what we had hunted. Now, 10,000 BCE, from 10,000 BCE to 1700 BCE, it was an agrarian age. So we're living off of agriculture, cultivating using our own hands. Then 1700 to 1970s was the industrial age, which was the introduction of machines. Then from there, we shifted from the industrial age from 1970s to 2010, it was information age, Web 1, Web 2. So when you talk about Web 2, you're talking about, so Web 1 was just websites that we cannot interact with. Web 2 was Facebook. Now, 1970s, sorry, this is a mistake. From 2010 all the way to now, we have Web 1, so we have AI and Web 3. So Web 3 is immersive. That's why the immersive technologies like VR, virtual reality, augmented reality, and the metaverse, that's why they are trending now, because it's the next evolution of our civilization. So we are moving from, so as you can see, we've moved from just people who are just hunting all the way to people who are working and functioning in a completely digital world. So moving from just physical things all the way to digital and data and numbers and zeros and ones. So the reason why I'm showing you this is so that you understand the evolution of work. The reason why evolution of work is very important is because people are trying to work like we are in a different sense. So you have to understand, to be successful in your career, you have to understand the current state of work, how people are working today to build brilliant careers and be successful professionals. So in the hunter-gatherer age, it was just survival instinct. We were striving to stay alive. That was the job. So the job for us was just make sure that you don't die. So when you wake up in the morning, when people used to wake up in the morning at that time, during that time, the only thing that was on their mind was, I'm going to make sure that today I don't die. Now that age ended and we entered the agrarian age. So the agrarian age was muscle and community driven, working to feed ourselves and our families. So from staying alive to now eating. Okay, now we have to eat. We have to feed our families. We have to feed a small community. Now we moved from doing muscle work all the way to craftsmanship during the industrial age. Now people are working to earn a decent living, food, shelter, self-actualization. These are the 70s. Now, from industrial age, we entered the information age, Web 1, Web 2, specialization. Now people are working to build wealth, large economies at scale because of technology. Now, the current age is the age of creativity and self-expression. We are working to express ourselves, attain fulfillment, and self-realization. Now, the reason why some people are successful in their careers and others are not, the reason why folks have a hard time finding jobs, it's because they are trying to work as if they're still in the industrial age and we are in the creativity and self-expression age. We are no longer in the age where people who get paid more are people who are working hard, muscle. This is not the age of muscle. The age of muscle, so imagine you're trying to advance in your work. You're trying to, maybe get a promotion at work. You're trying to work really hard to be able to, have, a decent living, maybe have a promotion at work. And your efforts, you're focusing your efforts on craftsmanship and specialization and muscle instead of focusing on creativity and self-expression. Today, if you want to move, these are the things that moves the needle in each age. In the age of AI and Web3, what moves the needle? What gives you a high salary? What makes you a best employee? What gives you a great job? What gives you leverage in the marketplace? What helps you land an amazing job? It is not specialization. It's creativity, it's self-expression. If you're trying to show that you are, I'll give you an example. The people who work hard the most are not the wealthiest. They're not the wealthiest. They're not the top leaders in their companies. They're not wealthier than those who work very hard, because the ages have changed. Today, it's not a matter of working very hard. It's working hard on the right things. If you're working hard on specializing, on becoming a specialist in something, you're going to be employed by someone who is working on creativity and self-expression. These are the content creators. These are the, or you're going to be defeated by someone who has specialized, but also is working on his creativity and self-expression. Because this is a community economy, this is an economy of self-expression, this is an idea-based, idea-driven economy. It's no longer a muscle, craftsmanship, specialization economy, because AI can be a specialist. I saw someone sent me a meme, and she said, people need to start taking care of their health, because the doctors of the future are using ChatGPT today. Specializations, AI is destroying specialization, because AI can be a specialist. I saw an article recently of, I believe it was OpenAI. They were saying how they are going to release an OpenAI model that costs, I believe, $20,000 every year, if it's not every month, where you have over 20 plus specialties. Basically, you have a specialist in every area of your work: HR, finance, value delivery, value creation, idea validation, sales, marketing. So you have a C-suite of AI specialists, and it's just agentic AI. That's why, that is the single most reason why today specializations are not, you see, doctors are not the most paid, are not the most well-paid people in the marketplace. No. Now, the question you can say, like, why is that the case? Because we are no longer in the information age. We're in the AI Web3 age, creativity, self-expression age. So the reason why I spent more time on this slide is because I don't want you to fall in a trap of using the wrong sword at the wrong age. The wrong age. So the kind of sword that is needed during the AI and Web3 age is the sword of creativity and self-expression, not craftsmanship, not muscle. So if you want, again, I tend to attract an audience of leaders. If you are on this webinar, it's because you are an aspiring leader, or you are a leader already. You are a manager at a company. You have a team that you're leading. And I'm just telling you that if you power up on the creativity and self-expression side, you're going to lead people who are great craftsmen, specialists, and muscle workers. Those are the people who become employees for the guys who have higher creativity and self-expression. Now, how do we do that exactly? So Gen AI is a tool for creativity, self-expression, and freedom. That's why Gen AI is a big deal. That's why it's the most hyped form or use case of all AIs, because it's a tool for creativity, self-expression, and freedom. Because creativity is now paying more than ever. I was watching a video recently, one of the people I follow on YouTube, The Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett. His channel made $20 million last year. $20 million making videos. So tell me, and he does not have 100 employees. No, a very small team, nimble team that is driven by passion, experimentation, and failing fast. Why? Because generative AI is that. It's literally creativity on steroids. So you're going to have someone, a solo entrepreneur, a solo founder, a solo employee. You're working for a company and you're running 5 departments as one person, because it's creativity on steroids. AI can become anything that you want. So it gives you freedom, it gives you creativity, it gives you an edge and leverage in the marketplace that has never existed before. So what is AI? Democratized and decentralized intelligence with infinite application, infinite use cases. That's what AI is. Democratized intelligence with infinite application. So you can take that intelligence and train it to be a doctor. It can do it. You can You guys know IRCAD, right? So IRCAD, they are performing surgeries like remote surgeries. The doctors are in the US, the patient is in Rwanda, and they operate the patient when they're in the US, in the UK, in Croatia, Australia, wherever they might be. Democratized and decentralized intelligence. So you can take AI, because it's an intelligence that is democratized and decentralized with infinite application, and you can train AI to be a car mechanic. But like I said, creativity and self-expression. Without creativity, without a creative mind, because now the reason why this is going to be very tricky. The reason why I'm sharing this, it's because I want to teach you how to think about AI, because that's where you should start. You don't start with using ChatGPT. I'm 100% sure when people saw the post of the webinar, they say, Willie is going to talk about ChatGPT prompts. No, that's not how I roll. ChatGPT prompt and how to apply for jobs? No, I don't do that. I teach people how to think. So I teach you how to think about something and then go make that thing, make that thing into anything that you want. I don't want to teach you, these are the prompts. No, that's something else. That's something else. My job is to teach you how to think, how to see. I'm going to give you mental models. If you follow my YouTube channel, the business YouTube channel, I don't share. Please mute yourself kindly. Thank you. So I don't share anything that is related to how to do things and everything. No, I give you frameworks, thinking frameworks, because I know this is like giving you a software. So when you install a software in a computer, it just runs. Okay, so it just runs. It doesn't have to. It's unlimited. Sibs, let me make you a co-host and mute that person. Just give me a second.
Willie, you were not able to mute the person?
Yeah, I can, but
Okay.
help me mute the person, because sometimes they come in when I'm in the middle of the presentation.
I think everybody seems to be muted right now.
Oh, I was hearing a voice. I was hearing
someone. Yeah, but I think now they muted. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's the mindset. That's the mindset I want you to have. I don't want to give you rigid things, memorized prompts. No, I share all those resources during the week. The purpose of the webinar is I want you to think about AI in a state that is above the average person, because the average person is thinking of ChatGPT, Claude AI. They're thinking about Gemini. They're thinking about Llama. No, that's limited. That's one application of AI. AI has hundreds of applications: machine learning, natural language processing, expert systems, vision, speech, planning, robotics, and so many more. So I'm sure when people saw that, they were like, he's going to discuss about ChatGPT. I don't do that. So in fact, ChatGPT is natural language processing subunit called text generation. So it's a subsection, a tiny section of AI. So there's a bunch of application of AI. That's why I said infinite application. So I want you to think of AI like electricity. So you need to think of AI as electricity. So thinking AI is only ChatGPT is like saying electricity is only for giving us like light. That's how limited it is. Electricity can do all sorts of things. It can power rockets, cars, houses, phones, laptops. It can power like nuclear plants, all kinds of crazy things that electricity can do. So think of AI as electricity. That's the smartest way. That's the most advanced way to think about AI. Don't think AI is just this text generation type of thing. No. That's one application that the market has hyped. but the smartest people are going deeper. They're going deeper, deep learning, supervised, unsupervised, content extraction, data science, advanced things. So this is why we are going to see that discovering AI today is like discovering the internet in 1995, but the rate of evolution and development is 1,000x faster. It's leaps and bounds. It's not like a linear growth. So AI is not, it's not like the internet, it's not like electricity where things are like slow. No. And now Chinese are making it worse because you have DeepSeek, you have crazy. I saw something called Agent Space that Chinese. No. It's not Agent Space. Agent Space is for Google. There's another platform that it's called Celestial Mind. Voila, it's called Celestial Mind. So Celestial Mind, it's an agentic AI space that you can, you know, train multiple agents and then they talk to each other. They execute all kinds of tasks. So AI is not moving in a linear way. It's moving very, very fast. And the best way to do that is, the best way to keep up, we're going to see, is to do the following. Now, the question you're asking yourself right now is, okay, so really, what's the leverage? How do I stay ahead? What do I do? 3 things: positioning, curiosity, and upskilling. Those are the 3 things you should do right now. Because as I told you, when you're trying to keep up with something that is moving as, you know, at lightning speed, and your chances to understand what it means, you know, going deeper into the application and everything, it's going to take you longer. The only thing to do is these 3 things. Position yourself in such a way that you don't fall behind. Number 2, upskilling. Number 3, staying curious. And then combine all of those together and explore how to be or how to stay ahead of the marketplace. So number 1, there's positioning, as I said. So how do you do positioning? There are 3 ways to do positioning: brand, publish, and network. So you need to build a personal brand. In the age of AI, you need a brand. The reason why you need a brand is because, like I said, it's the era of creativity and self-expression. So you need a brand. You need to be foundable. So people need to find, when people need you, they have to find you. Number 2, you need to publish your thoughts. What is your perspective on something in your career? And building a brand doesn't mean that you need to do crazy things. No, you just need a LinkedIn page with your names and what you do and a photo that shows a front-facing photo, and that's it. So the brand is not the photos you post. The brand is the ideas you publish and the networks you plug into. So it could be online networks. It could be in-person networks. Like right now we are doing Career Growth Resources. We are doing a webinar. This is an online community. But in the future, probably we'll do physical events and see if people are going to turn out and come. Okay, but when you're doing all of that and you're leaving behind the brand and the publishing part, then you're lacking something in your positioning. The reason why branding is branding is key when it comes to positioning is because the whole point of positioning yourself is to be able to to distinguish yourself in the marketplace. Because in the age of AI, everyone is trying to do things. You know, people are publishing content online, people are doing all kinds of things, they're landing jobs. So there's so much noise. So to craft a brand is to associate yourself with a message, with a mission that is related to your work, that is related to your passion. And then you start talking about that idea, that mission, that passion that you have, and then publish. Then by doing that, you will start attracting people who are interested in what you're talking about, people who are interested in your work, people who are interested in what you do, what you're doing, or the vision that you have. So that's how you do. That's the formula of positioning yourself. When someone say, "Oh, you need to position yourself," this is what they mean: build a brand, publish content, and gather a network of people around your ideas. Gather a community of listeners. Just like I gathered 500 people around career growth resources. That's how you do it. Now, number 2, upskilling. How do you upskill? You learn, you do, you get a coach. You need to perfect your technical skills. Like I said, even though this is a creativity, self-expression economy, you still need to know, to have a specialization. Okay, what do you know how to do? Like, what do you know? What do you do? What is your expertise? Is it coding? Is it science? Is it teaching? Is it speaking? Is it, are you a car mechanic? What are you? What do you do? What problem do you solve in the marketplace? That's the best way to describe it. What's the problem you solve in the marketplace? I think the next time I meet someone, I'm going to say, "Hi, so what's the problem do you solve in the marketplace?" Huh, interesting. Well, I build businesses. What do you mean you build businesses? Systems. Ah, interesting. Number 3, get a coach. The reason why this is very crucial, it's because the purpose of a mentor or a coach, I mean, what we do in Career Growth Resources is a form of, distant mentorship, teaching, coaching, but it's not thorough as one would want it to be. But getting a mentor, and the purpose of a coach or a mentor is to keep you accountable, but also save you from making unnecessary mistakes. You don't want to make mistakes that you should have not made. So by learning and doing, so basically you learn something, you apply it, you put it to practice, and you get a coach to collect feedback and improve what you do. So a coach is someone who tells you, "Hey, I think you should opt for this option more than that one." I think from the point where, so what I'm doing right now is a form of coaching, but the purpose of a coach is to show you, okay, look, I think your passion is tending or leaning towards this, but I really believe that you should also look into this other thing. I think it's very lucrative. There's a problem in the marketplace, and if you solve it, you're going to scale and be successful. Because remember, a coach is someone who is ahead of you. They have acquired technical skills. They understand the ins and outs of an industry, and their purpose is to make sure that you don't mess up, or you don't mess up a lot. You mess up less, if I would say. So that's the purpose of a coach. And that's why they are crucial when it comes to building your career and advancing, especially in this age of AI. I'm a product of mentorship, and I'm a product of coaching. I still pay hundreds of dollars for mentorships and coaching because I'm very well aware of the fact that if I'm getting coached and other people are not getting coached, you can't compete with me. It's impossible. Not in my field. No. I'm the best in my field. And I don't care if you are in Silicon Valley or in Rwanda or in Kenya or Tanzania. No. If you're competing in my field, which is business development and building business systems and coaching startups and building startups, you can't compete me. It's impossible. I'm very good. I'm amongst the top. So, and that is because of mentorship and coaching. Now, number 3 is curiosity. Curiosity, there is question, engage, and research. So now the reason why curiosity is very important is because every quest, every discovery starts with a question. So if you don't question anything, if you just go and stroll through life without questioning anything, there's a big problem. If you don't engage with anything, I share most of the time resources in the WhatsApp group. We have now open houses. Engage with what other people are saying. Engage with the content I'm posting. Ask me questions. Provide ideas, share insights. What do you think? But again, that cannot happen if you don't do research, because you won't have anything to say. And then you'll be like, okay, if I say it, what are they going to think? Who cares? So questioning, engage, and research, very, very important, very crucial. Because I think the reason why, I mean, the downside of formal education, especially on the higher ranks, is because, I mean, basic education is great because you're learning to read, write, count, be a social human being, a social being, and all kinds of social skills. But on the upper echelons, I think education can stifle the essence of curiosity and questioning and having an inquisitive mind. And because of that, we have to constantly and intentionally disrupt that programming that we've collected through universities and programs we've done. So, and interesting enough, we are in the era that requires us to be curious. The only way to stay ahead, because creativity is a byproduct of curiosity. I'm curious about something, I'm reading. Like, I'm reading books, I'm attending networking events, I'm meeting people, I'm asking questions, I'm engaging, I'm researching, I'm reading. And this is the crazy thing about curiosity is a beast that the more you feed it, the more hungry it gets. That's why the more you learn, there is an interesting concept I learned recently called unconscious incompetence. So basically, when you're trying to sell a service, there is a level of awareness called unaware. So your clients are literally completely unaware of the problem that they have. And usually what you do when your customer target, your profile, your customer target is on the unaware stage, you need to make them aware. You need to educate them. So when you educate, you create a gap of competence, because the only way, I'm going to give you an example. The reason why, I'm going to just give you a straight out example. The reason why, so let's say the reason why this webinar is not being attended, maybe let's say like 100 or 120 people, it's because people are unconsciously incompetent. So they don't know the ramifications and the ripple effects of AI. So the people who have attended this webinar, you're going to walk away with a conscious incompetence. So you will recognize how incompetent you are in some areas. And you'll be like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I need to go and learn. So that's why I was saying that curiosity is a beast that gets hungrier as you feed it. So the more you get curious and you learn, so because when I read a book and I finish it back to back, my thought is, oh my God, I feel accomplished. No, I'm like, what did this guy write next? So I finished, let's say, The Laws of Human Nature, 48 Laws of Power. I'm reading Mastery. And he wrote also other books on war, seduction, all kinds of books that Robert Greene wrote. But when you finish one book of Robert Greene or Brené Brown, you don't feel like, oh, I feel accomplished. No, you're like, oh, well, interesting. So she wrote about leadership. What did she write? And I saw another book on, let's say, a connection, like mapping human connections. And I'm like, okay, I should read that one too. Interesting. What did she? So curiosity expands as you learn and as you research, as you question. So that's why it's very important. So we are in the era where the people who are going to stay ahead are people who are constantly curious, obsessively curious about anything, whatever you're passionate about, your industry, your school, the expertise, anything that follow. I always say that instead of saying that people should follow their passion, I think people should follow their curiosity, because curiosity always leads to wonderful places. I've been curious since a decade ago, and it has led me to wonderful places. discoveries, great people, amazing opportunities, money, and all sorts of things. So you can ask yourself, how does someone who has never been to Canada is training people who are in Canada? How is that possible? Curiosity. So I came from Dubai. I met a guy. He said, Willie, like, I have people who are in Canada. They are immigrants from Africa. You've been training people across Africa. Can you help them? I was like, oh, interesting. What do you guys teach them? I went through the courses. I was like, yeah, I can kill this. Let's do it. I did it. People loved it. Cohort 1, 2, 3. We are on the 4th one. And I'm one of the most booked mentors amongst my peers. Curiosity. So the number one and most notorious near enemy of your career is indifference. What is a near enemy? A near enemy is something that is not wrong, but it's good. So there's a difference between right, good, and wrong. So the worst thing to do is not actually the wrong thing. The worst thing you can do is doing the good thing, but it's not right. That blur, that middle ground is the worst place to be. And indifference, that's what indifference do. The indifference does. So indifference is a state where people are like, okay, let's say, okay, let me give you an example. How to be indifferent about AI. So to be indifferent about AI is saying, you know what, like I'm a high school teacher or I'm a university teacher. When is AI going to disrupt me? Come on. By the time AI disrupts teachers, I'll be in my retirement. So you just bury your head in the sand like an ostrich and you think that nothing is going to happen. You just say, okay, this does not concern me. Okay. That's your number one enemy. That's your number one enemy as a professional. You should not be indifferent on anything. Even if you're scrolling past, like you're scrolling through your LinkedIn and you see something, some people ask me usually, look, okay, Willie, how do you find jobs that you share in the group and everything? I'm like, I'm not indifferent. You know, when I see someone, he's an HR at African Development Bank, I go and follow them. And then by the time when they post something, it's going to come to my feed. And when I click on it, LinkedIn is going to say, like this guy is interested in these jobs. Okay, we'll be feeding you jobs more. And then I get the jobs and then I share them in the group. So I think the reason why whatever I've been able to achieve in my life, it's because I've never been indifferent in my life. I was always, even in primary school, even when I was a little kid, I was always curious and very interested in all kinds of things. I was not like an A+ student. I was like a good student, like B+, B, like a decent student. But I was a very, very distracted kid when I was young, very distracted in school because I was I'm an adventurer by nature. Now you can say, Willie, like, oh, you are an adventurer, but I'm not an adventurer. Well, cultivate that in yourself. You know, be curious about things. I think everyone has something they're curious about. They have just not discovered it yet. So there's something that you're curious about, but you are not aware of it yet because you did not do because you are not curious about yourself in the first place. Because we are entering in an era where people who know themselves, you've discovered yourself, you discovered your interest, your passion, your potential. These are the people who are going to lead the world of today and tomorrow. So indifference is a huge bottleneck for many professionals. So be curious, be interested, be engaging, you know, be active, be proactive about things, and then it will lead you to wonderful places. And I'm speaking from experience. Like I said, I was not like the most brilliant student or anything, but when I see where the shape my career has taken, it was because of, you know, I was very interested and I was very curious. And I was joining all kinds of things, like from performing arts to singing to, like, I play piano, I play guitar, I'm a singer. I played basketball for quite a while. Football, not really. But I'm a songwriter, I'm a movie writer. I'm interested in art, in movies, in like, I'm a movie critic. I don't want to limit myself. The reason why education fails so many people is because education is going to box you. I'm not saying you should not get educated. I'm just saying after getting educated, expand your horizon, spread your wings, and get to understand who you are. That's why it's impossible to copy what I do. That's why people are like, okay, how do you write about politics? You did not study politics. I'm like, I did not limit myself. I grew up around a dad who taught us to question everything. I'm like, okay, what is happening? So I'm interested about things. I want to know economics and finance and art, and that's me. But you might not have 13 interests, but you can have 2 interests or 3 interests, but be curious. Don't box yourself. Now, there are key skills to stay ahead. These are the skills that you need to make sure that in your career, no one is going to compete you. Now, this is what comes with being mentored by me. So every person that I've mentored in my life has never been the second. They are always the first in whatever they do. So when you do exactly what I tell you to do, it's impossible to be the second. You are always ahead. You will always be the head. You will never be the tail. Never. Not if you come across my programs. Never. I've never met a person in my life, even the folks I taught in high school, because I used to teach computer programming in high school. Okay? So the folks I taught in high school, these guys are now running, successful companies, startup companies, tech startup companies, making $200,000, $500,000, partnering with leading institutions here in Rwanda and abroad. Because, it's a gift that God gave me, that when I'm mentoring people and coaching people, except if you don't do what I tell you to do, if you do what I tell you to do, you're going to be successful. Now, these are the key skills you need to stay ahead. And if you can apply these skills, if you can start honing these skills starting from today, right now as we speak, so in the next 3 to 6 months, 9 months, people are not going to recognize you. Number one, there's prompting. So you need to know how to prompt AI. You need to learn, how do I structure prompts that can make AI provide answers that are relevant, answers that I want. How can I make AI do what I want? How can I get the best out of AI? So how do you learn prompt engineering? There's so many prompt engineering courses on YouTube. Go on YouTube and say prompt engineering for beginners. Learn how to prompt AI. Learn how to use the right keywords. Learn how to request the right information out of AI. Learn what to ask AI and what to not ask AI. Okay? Now, number 2, writing. You need to know how to write. I know people are saying, ChatGPT is writing and everything. No, if I'm good at writing, even if I'm using ChatGPT, someone asked me, so Willie, you've been criticizing AI, but you use AI when you're writing. I say, I use AI, of course, but in my head, I was like, if I give you ChatGPT, can you produce the kind of writing I produce? The answer is no. Why? Because I practiced writing for a very long time. And because of that, even when I'm giving, let's say, this is how I do my post. So I write a post and then I give it to AI to remove errors, grammatical errors. That's my job. Okay, so I give AI the text, and then I tell, okay, please remove the errors. That's how I do it. But I'm the one who writes. It's just that I'm not good at grammar and punctuation and everything. So number 3 is speaking. You need to know how to speak. I'm not saying you should be a public speaker. I'm just saying you should be able to formulate sentences that translate or convey a message in a way that is relatable and understandable. If you say, my name is Willie, I'm a business consultant. I've been working with startups for the past 10 years. I've coached 5,000 businesses through various organizations, and I've coached 500 businesses one-on-one. The founders I've coached in the past 9 months have generated $1 million. That is not public speaking. That is speaking skills. So you need to know how to speak if you want to get promoted. So you will see most of the time that people are people who are on the highest echelons of management in companies or entrepreneurs, they are good speakers. They know how to, they communicate well. This is because if you can communicate well, it means the way people speak is how they write. The way people speak and write is how they work. Because your speaking shows that you have an organized mind. So you're organizing information and then you're using those information to formulate sentences, and those sentences are being conveyed through linguistics. So it's an amazing brain exercise that you should do and learn how to speak. I'm not saying you should be a public speaker. I'm saying you should practice to speak. Speak succinctly, speak in a way that is understandable, convey a message. You don't need to be like a 10 out of 10. You just need to be good enough. And that good enough is 1%. Most people don't know how to speak. So to land a job, you need to be, to do the interview. To land a job, you need to do the interview. And to do the interview, you need to speak. So how are you going to land a job if you can't speak? It's impossible. To lead a company, you need to speak. You need to speak. To convince employees, to recruit employees, to do, even to interview, not even to interview for your own job, but also to interview employees who are going to join your company, you need to speak. And if you're a CEO who is not well articulate, then they're going to start, doubting what you're saying. There's so many famous people who are not incredible speakers, but who have practiced to speak. And then you can also practice how to speak. So how do you practice how to speak? Go on. So listen to people who are speaking and people who speak well, listen to them. Because the more you listen to something, you're going to sound like, the more you listen to someone, you start sounding like that person. That's something I noticed that is a game changer. So I speak like people I listen to. That's the best way to start. So you want to learn to speak? Find someone who speaks in a way that you admire and listen to them often. That's step 1. Step 2, 3, 4, 5, and other strategies, that's for mentorship. Now, questioning. Questioning is the fancy word for critical thinking. I don't like fancy words because people use these big words. Sometimes they don't understand what they're talking about. That's why they use when you ask someone, what is critical thinking really? And then they're like, critical thinking is the way of thinking critically. No, it's not. It's questioning. So critical thinking is questioning. You're questioning the status quo. You're questioning assumption, developing a habit to challenge and disrupt current ways of thinking and operating. So these are the skills you need to constantly. And by the way, questioning is a product of curiosity, because you cannot question something you're not curious about. You need to be curious about something and then start questioning it. Then from there, you can say, okay, now I have begun to think critically. Now, here is your game plan now. This is what you're going to do. You're going to do 4 things. 3 things, the last one is just a habit that I want you to start practicing. Number 1 is research. I want you to go and study how AI is changing your industry. That's number 1. Number 1, study how you're a scientist, you're into engineering, you're a developer, you are an architect, you are a software engineer, you are an accountant. Go study how AI is changing your industry. How is AI affecting your industry? Number 2, communication. Share your findings and original thoughts online. Communication, so start learning how to speak, listening to people who speak the way you admire, do that, but also start practicing speaking. You don't need to be in front of an audience. It's not public speaking, it's speaking to your peers, the way you speak to your peers. Number 3, networking. Gather around communities that are heading where you're going. Number 4, gratitude. The reason why gratitude is very crucial, it's because when people enter the dry seasons of their career, the dry seasons of their lives, they sink into despair. So lack attracts lack. Lack leads to more lack. So you want to be in a state of gratitude. What is gratitude? A state of knowing that whatever is happening, tomorrow is going to be better. Tomorrow is going to be good. There is an opportunity. There is abundant opportunities. The only thing you need to have is, so because the reason why gratitude is very powerful, it's because with gratitude, when you enter a state of gratitude, you enter a state of reception because you're being grateful because life has been good to you and is bringing you things. You become grateful, you appreciate what you have first, and then life is going to give you more because the way the universe works, it keeps you in the state where you're in. The state where you're in, that's the state it gets you to keep. So if you are in a state of lack, it's going to supply circumstances, situations, people, opportunities to stay in that. There's someone who said the universe is always saying yes. So when you say, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, then it's going to say, okay, there's AI around the corner. I'm going to give this guy a great idea around, AI, for instance. And then all of a sudden you get an idea and then you publish it and then people resonate with it and then you grow from there. But the point I want to make is do not sink into despair, do not sink into lack. That is not going to be helpful. But these three things are crucial: research, communication, networking, and then the fourth one is gratitude. So that's it for today. This is what I had prepared so that we have an understanding of what AI means for career people, for professionals, and how can you position yourself? How can you, what are you going to do? So AI is jumping all over the place. What are you going to do? And how can you stand and say, okay, this is how I'm going to distinguish myself from the rest of the market. So thank you so much for your kind attention. I hope and believe that this was very helpful. So I'm going to receive questions, but before that, let me see if we have, if Christine has joined us so that I give her time, and then because we're almost reaching the time. So I'm going to see if Christine, Christine, are you there? Is Christine?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. So Christine, before we go to Q&A, I'm going to give you time to, present yourself and then, tell us what the good news that you're bringing, and then pick it up from there, because I don't want to do Q&A. I want to respect your time because it's past time when I'd say 5 p.m. So if you're okay with it, I can give you the floor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for everyone that's in the room. I know today is Easter, so happy Easter to everyone that celebrates. I know it's a very big day for me and really excited to be here to speak to you guys. So, of the many exciting news that we have, the first one, as we're speaking about AI, Willie was just talking about how it's very important for us to learn, like, how is AI transforming the world? How is AI transforming our industries? And for that, good news number one, I am working with a company called Outschool Africa. We specialize in education, especially around upskilling and making sure that pretty much like the African continent is ready for the next 10, 20, 50 years of work that are upcoming. So we have courses around pretty much anything tech related. We have a wide range of diploma courses that last for a year that are in product. So think product designing, product marketing, you think like computer engineering, front end, back end, cybersecurity, you think literally anything tech you can think of, there's probably a course for that at Outschool. And one of the things we're really excited about right now is that we just launched an AI course. And our AI course is specifically geared towards what we're just talking about, which is what is AI, first of all, and what is its history, and how is it transforming the world, and how people are thinking and working right now. So the course is free. Anyone on here, I'm going to drop the link. For anyone on here that's interested, I just dropped the link in the chat. You can go check it out. It's a very short course. It won't take more than 2 hours of your time. Free. Just go out there, helps you familiarize yourself with like how AI thinks, how it works, and what it really can do for different industries and whatever work that you may be in. So that's news number one. News number two is we at Outschool are launching a special scholarship specifically for this community. We know that now is a big time when people are rethinking, what does work even mean? What does work look like? What is the future of it? How can we future-proof ourselves into really what is the future? Not even just the future, the present, right? And we realize that tech is a very big component of it. So we are launching a scholarship, which is $100 off of all of our courses, diploma courses. So anything, if you go to the Outschool website, anything you're going to find in the School of Product, in the School of Data, in the School of Engineering, all those fall under our diploma programs, and they would be $100 off for the people that are in this community. So if you're interested in it, you want to jump on this and, you know, learn, pick up a skill for yourself, know how you can make yourself more employable, more marketable in the economy of the future, please go ahead and use this scholarship. Willie, was there something else you wanted me to mention? Would you like me to drop the link as well?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah.
I'll drop the link to the Outschool website with all the 3 schools that currently fall under this scholarship. You can, anyone on the school can browse and see what program is interesting to you. And we can just work it out, coordinate it, and see how we can get that scholarship in your hands. A little bit of a caveat is for anybody that would be interested in this scholarship, you have to know that you have to pass our assessment test. It's not very difficult. It's just basic things to see, hey, this thing that you want to learn, do you have the motivation to actually go through the course? Can you speak or write English? Willie was just talking about how it's really important to develop like public speaking and learn how to write. So the assessment will test, are you at least at like a basic level where you have these basic skills? And then when you pass the assessment, it will be very easy for you to get the scholarship. I'll just drop the link to our website on here. And yeah, we are very much looking to seeing you, everyone on here in class. We can't wait to make it happen with you guys. If everything I just said sounds confusing and you're sitting here wondering, what is this? What is Outschool? What does this even look like? I am going to go ahead and guess that majority of the people on this call are already familiar with online learning, with there being platforms like Andela. You've heard of like the Alexas of the world, and you know, the schools where people are going to get a further education, right? Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So we're also an online school, and what really makes us stand out is that our programming is affordable, and it's also done by Africans for Africans. We realize that a lot of the courses that are available are sometimes taught by people that are not in our markets, that do not understand our context. So we developed something that is completely different, that is going to allow you to like have something that makes sense to us. And the other thing that we do have is a huge variety of courses. I spoke a lot about tech because that is the topic we're talking about today. But should you have interests in the creative field, business, or really anything else, anything you could search for, there's a very good chance you're going to have an Outschool course that can match it. And right now with our scholarships, we would love, you know, to make it possible for you guys to be able to attend. So there is that $100 off of the entire tuition of the program. I think what you'll have to pay should you get in will be like the $190 and then an application fee, and you'll be good to go. And that will be for a 1-year program that comes with international certification. Hopefully that cleared up any questions. If you have any more as well, I'm more than happy to answer.
Yeah, Christine, thank you so much. By the way, Christine, you know, she just agreed to come and share the good news. It's Easter. By the way, we had 64 people that registered because of Easter. Yeah, because of I think it has been like very, very hard for people to attend. So, but what I'm going to do, because we are recording the video, so I'm going to upload it on YouTube for easy viewership, and then I'm going to share it in the community, and then many people can see the video, and then they can start engaging with the links that you shared. I was just trying to open the links that you've shared. I think the platform is quite easy to navigate. So you create an account. So you view the school,
No,
right?
so you would just go to the schools. My recommendation would be for people that are interested in learning and furthering their education and knowledge. First, go to the school, see what courses are available, see what's interesting to you, right? Because who knows what's interesting, right? Right now,
engineering, data, products, creative economy,
creative business. So all of that will fall under the scholarship. I highly encourage, if you're interested, to apply now, because the scholarship that we only have about 3 weeks left to have everything ready. So if you're interested, please go ahead and apply now. Yeah.
Christine, I was going to ask about, I'm sure you have successful stories on how the course is doing when people take it. How has that side been on your end? How was the experience with the students?
So I have to explain the structure of the program. So the OutSchool courses are designed for beginners, at least these ones that are right here. They're designed for people that you're interested in a particular thing. You don't exactly have a lot of experience. You kind of want to know what's there. You want to make yourself more employable. So we bring people that are fresh. They learn with us for a year. And at the end of the year, you graduate having had a capstone where you've worked. For example, say you're in the School of Engineering, you're learning something like, I don't know, cybersecurity. You finish having done a capstone with people that are, for example, in the School of Data, the School of Product, where the program simulates what a work environment would look like for you to realize, hey, just because I'm in cybersecurity doesn't mean that that's the only exposure, that's the only experience I will ever have. It exposes you to like the people that you might meet in the workplace that are working alongside other tech teams, and you work on a capstone project. So it allows you to graduate with both knowledge and a very strong portfolio, because you've worked on these projects along other very, very solid teams of like techies. So that's one. And the second thing is that the people that graduate with us have very high chances of being employed. We have stories of people that have been hired by GitHub, that have been hired by the likes of some of actually our professors that are coming from these big industries like Amazon and Google. We have some professors that are able to take students under their own wings, or students that are matched through our career office that is actually headquartered here in Rwanda, where they're able to work with the likes of like BK or international companies. So if we never fully say, hey, if you come to our programs, we'll land you a job, but we do have a career office that works very much alongside with the students, make sure that the students have their CVs ready, that you know how to sit through an interview and be very convincing to employers. You have a portfolio. And for some of the best students, our career program matches them with employers. So we have tons and tons of success stories of students that were either able to be matched with jobs through us, or because they were really ready and prepared for the job, for the workforce, they went ahead and landed jobs on their own. And the other thing that is starting to become a thing now is that those capstone projects we've noticed an increase where they're now becoming standalone businesses on their own, where we've had teams. We have 3 startups now. I can look them up and share them with you, that have, the students were like, this is such a good project. Why are we just stopping here? Let's go ahead and monetize it. And now there are startups that have been able to raise money. So it's really a place where we're bringing people that are curious and they're experimenting. They're walking out with businesses, jobs, or just, walking out way more prepared for the world. And for us, we're extremely proud. And we're always looking for ways to work with our alumni to further not just their careers, but be involved in their lives and see how we can involve them in other initiatives as well. So it's continuous learning.
All right. Thank you so much, Christine. I think the message is quite clear and understandable. And yeah, looking forward to more subscriptions to the school and more students from the career growth resources. All right. Beautiful. Now, so I think we can resume so we were on the Q&A side. So you can ask questions around what we were just discussing. We have 10 minutes for questions. No, actually 5 minutes for questions because we started a little bit late, but we're going to finish on time. So you can ask questions around what we're discussing. You can share your insights, or you can even ask questions around what Christine just mentioned. Christine, are you still around for the remaining minutes, 5 minutes?
Yeah,
just in case we are. Okay,
happy
cool.
to take any questions.
Okay, awesome. Yes, Daniela, I see you raised a hand.
Hi, everyone. Really thank you so much for delivering incredible value with this session. I was really curious and very excited for what was going to be said. And I'm very happy that I didn't get disappointed and I did actually learn a lot of things. And thank you, Christine, too, for introducing the school. I didn't know it. At first, I felt that it was a bit similar to what Alex is doing, especially with the AI course. But I like that there's a unique touch. For example, the fact that you have that capstone project where people are able to collaborate with people with in different categories with different skill set. Usually when you're doing that, for example, in Alex, you're learning with people who are learning the same thing as you, or you're doing that alone. But in this case, you're enabling collaboration with people who have who are into different things. And I do believe that that can also nurture that creativity that was mentioned in this session. My question was, for really, in case, for example, you a person wanted to get into a master's and they were looking to get into something that's related to AI, so that they get on the train and not get left behind. What would you advise them, like a career that they would get into? I get that there's the option to like stay in the one that you're in, but maybe make the most of technology and AI as well. But I was also wondering if you could like give us like how do I say, a sense of direction? I don't know, for just a curious person who is exploring those options. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to masters, this is what I usually advise people. Go for a master's after you've explored the working world for a couple of years. It could be 1 year, 2 years, because the essence of masters, at least for me, I believe, is mastering something. So how do you know what you're going to master if you don't know what you're interested about or interested in? So I usually say, even AI out of the picture, before you choose, the best way to choose a master's is to be in the workplace for a while, like work for like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then say, okay, this is a niche, or this is an aspect of my career, or an aspect of my industry, or my niche, my space that I want to master. Let's say you might say, okay, I did computer science in university, but after working for 2 to 3 years, I was like, okay, I don't want to be a master in software engineering. I just want to do to take a career in business consulting. So I went ahead and took a course by Regent University, which was some aspect variations of an MBA. So I did that. but had I not worked for a couple of years before deciding that, I would have went straight into software engineering, and I was not going to be a software engineer. So I think that the framework or the mental model here is work for a few years, know what you're interested in, and then go ahead and then pursue a master's. Now, that vis-a-vis AI, I think, like I said, AI is like electricity. So AI is going to be in everything, just like electricity is in everything and anything today. You're going to have AI in cars, in planes, in phones, in laptops, in houses, in I don't know, anything. Now, also on the side, on the working side, you're going to have AI in management, in boardrooms, in finance, in accounting, in management consulting. So AI is going to be everywhere. And I think the people are going to have, like I said, there's something I shared here. So to know, where is it? Yeah, it's here, research. So you need to know to stay on the cutting edge of information related to AI in your industry. If you're a professional product manager, professional project manager, professional accountant, you need to know how fast or how is AI disrupting accounting? How is AI disrupting media? How is AI disrupting career mentorship? How is AI disrupting consulting, for instance, because that's my industry? And with that, paired with your knowledge, because remember, AI does not create anything from scratch. It's unlimited intelligence, but based on the data that we provide. So with that, then you can combine the two. So you have your masters that you've mastered in something that you've understood and decided to pursue, paired with AI, then you become unstoppable, because it's still something we are exploring. The world is just getting hold of, okay, what is this? Like, let the dust settles, and then we'll see what to do. But that's the framework, or how to approach master's degrees, with AI together. Any other question? Daniel, I hope I've answered you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All right. So yeah, I don't see any other questions. Let me check in the chat.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. This has nothing to do with me being without school. This is just something that I have gone through myself as someone who has oftentimes thought about getting a master's degree and what that would look like and things. One thing that I think we often underestimate is how much we can get done now. Because sometimes a lot of people, we're really stuck on the idea that you should get a master's degree to be able to enter a field. You need an MBA to start a business. You need this to actually, get to your goal. You need a PhD. But most of the times you don't, So I would say that just like as Willie was saying, go get yourself some experience, figure out if the thing you really want to do is actually impossible for you to do right now. Because what you do not want to do, especially in the age of AI, where the world is moving really fast, is to have a really, really good idea and possibly a good shot, and then wait for 2 years, 3 years after your master's degree is done for you to think about entering that industry when everyone has moved on. So, before you're thinking of like, let me hold myself for 2 years, 3 more years back, I'll say do short courses, whatever you need to do to get yourself familiarized, ready. If you want to take an out school course, go ahead, but see if it's impossible for you to do what you want to do right now. And then if it's really impossible and you've tried everything, you knocked on every door, then get a master's degree.
That makes sense. Christine.
Yep, there you have it. So yeah, that's the game plan, because there is no way, with the rate at which things are changing, if you get caught up into, again, there are some industries that require extensive study, medicine, engineering, architecture, all these like critical industry, like these like first fundamental industries. But beyond that, you can pretty much like learn anything. There are so many amazing courses on companies like Art School that they're providing, and Coursera. what is the other, Udemy, and so many other companies. So you can go ahead and educate yourself, build a skill stack that is around the needs on the marketplace, because there is also another interesting thing that AI is doing. It's disrupting industries, kind of like disturbing industries, like the structures of industries, to the point where it's now almost because education, the academic sector is very rigid and set. So for them to change very quickly, it's very hard. That's why you need the art schools, because your art school is it can be very easy for art school to come up with a course that adjusts to the need of the marketplace, and then they can go ahead and design it. Because right now it's very hard to find a course on like creative economy, for instance, like a master's in creative economy. Because to create a master's, you need a whole process. You need to get approval. You need a university to accept it. So there are so many things that goes into it. So I think the place where the world is heading is from degrees to skill stacks, where you build a skill stack around a need, a profession, or an opportunity in the marketplace, and you use that skill stack until it gets obsolete or needs an upgrade, and then you upgrade, and then you keep on and keep on. So yeah, thank you so much, Christine, for the input, and Daniela for asking, and everyone who has engaged in the chat. I saw so many people did send their names, what they do, where they're located. So this was an amazing session. Of course, it's Easter, and then I think people really had a hard time. Many people are in concerts and families, so totally understand it. But we're going to share the recordings with the rest of the group. So I wish you and your families a happy Easter. Happy Easter Monday as well. Tomorrow is a day off, at least in Rwanda. And I'll see you in the next session of the webinar. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.